Hey everybody, welcome to Each Other News. We've got the next episode. I believe this is episode 6 or 7 for the CDE, and we're going to be talking about marketing. Automation, marketing. You got to do it, and the question is, how do you do it? And we've got Jeff from ContentMX, and he's a partner of our organization. We're going to talk a bit about how he does it. So, Jeff, first of all, welcome. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good stuff. All right, let's jump into this. So, marketing. Give us your take on what's happening right now, and all the outcomes you've seen from companies who have not really been doing marketing before, or not maybe not doing it right, to now when using your platform and they're doing it better and right. What's some of the outcomes you're seeing?
Well, as we know, the majority of B2B buyers are very self-directed, meaning that they're guiding their own journey. They're doing their own social research. Jay McBain talks about the 28 points of light, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And the challenge, if you're an MSP and you're working with multiple vendors, is how do you become discovered during these different 28 points? You want to be working with the B2B buyer and kind of helping them along their journey, almost like you're there on their sidecar, so to speak, right? So we have discovered that when an MSP engages with our platform and start to publishing their content, whether it's on social, email, or directory pages or landing pages, they're starting to become discovered. They're starting to become more engaged with the B2B buyer and helping them along that journey. So that's where we really have seen success happen between the MSPs who work in the platform versus those who do not.
Yeah, going from ad hoc to actually putting a really good plan, consistency, kind of obvious, sort of obvious outcomes, right? But let's double click on this a little bit. First of all, walk me through a journey with the MSP itself, right? So what does the platform look like? What does the workload look like from his perspective? What happens?
So from the MSP's perspective, they get to subscribe to a free platform, just so we're clear. It's a free platform, works just like a Constant Contact and a Hootsuite and a WordPress all bundled into one, is you get all those features. But the added benefit is you get great content from either thought leaders or vendors who are providing their content to you. The setup process is probably the only thing that's really time consuming. Once you go through that process where you connect up your social networks, connect your email either to our system or to your own, and you basically publish either to your own landing pages or to a combination of your own blogs and our landing page that we provide for you, which now also, by the way, the landing pages that our system provides for every MSP is discoverable through a directory that when someone searches through it, they can easily find who you are. So based on all those pieces, once they're set up, then you just click a button and you say, okay, here are the channels I want to work with. I want to work with thought leadership on cybersecurity. I want to work with Microsoft, and maybe I want to work with Cisco. And though you pick those 3 content streams, and then you hit auto publish, and every week without fail, your content will be published. And every week without fail on a Sunday, you'll receive an email that says, here are the leads that the content is generated for you, and you should be able to follow up on them. Now, obviously, if you want to spend more time and be more engaged with your own marketing, you can do that as well. You can log in on a regular basis. You'll get an email from us every Monday telling you to and reminding you to do so. And when you get that email, you can log in, you can edit the content, you can use AI to personalize it, or you can create your own content and do your own campaigns as well. So really, it's the gambit of what you can do is end to end here, from customizing it to do exactly what you want, how you want it, to just letting it roll based on the great content that's being provided into the application from thought leaders and vendors alike.
So in a way, Jeff, it's like really automated marketing, right? I mean, you turn it on and it goes. And of course, the downside of the challenge, I want to say, is that there's a set of content, right, that you're working on the background in for each of these, flavors, target audiences, right? And if they do nothing, that's what the system picks up and delivers to their customers. And it's good content too. It's not just random stuff that you're doing, right? Tell us a bit about the content.
So as I mentioned, the content comes from specific thought leaders throughout the industry. So we're not just, basically publishing content from people who may be, just writing on their blog or whatever it might be. We're really looking and searching out for the leaders in the industry and making sure that's your choice. And the same thing goes from the vendor content. The vendors are looking at this as the real driver of their business. They believe that great content drives success. So we're really going through with our own editorial team and ensuring that that content is not only available to you, but is viable and valuable to the customer as well. Now, if you do nothing, then you might have a page on our site in our directory, but when people find you, they're not going to trust who you are. So a big piece of the buyer journey is once you're discovered and someone finds your website, the content builds the trust. So to your point, if you're not consistent and you're not even remotely driving any content there, the customer, the buyer, may look at you and say, well, glad you're able to do certain things, but I don't trust that you are able to handle my issue because I don't see content about that.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, in a strange way, right? I mean, it really depends on the quality of the content at the end of the day, right? Because vendors, vendors like to talk about themselves a lot, and in their content is more marketing information than real content. So you're making sure that that content meets a certain, editorial quality, right? So it's not just a sales pitch, and people recognize that coming from a mile away, right? So you're doing the job to make sure the content is real.
Yeah, so we have over 50 content streams in our application today. We're serving out hundreds of millions of impressions every month. So what we're able to do is really break down the results and understand what type of content performs and what doesn't. So we have the data. So we know that a storyline about, how a case study, for example, that really drives a lot of value. And that's very good at the search criteria when someone's doing a search and looking for, hey, can you help me with remote monitoring security solutions? Can you help me with a on-prem hybrid type of security, cybersecurity solution? Whatever you're doing, the story of how that was done prior in a successful way is more valuable than just a spec sheet. Mm. So we will work very closely with the vendors to ensure that, maybe you need a spec sheet to follow up an email just so when you're getting close to it. But the real storyline has to be how your solution and how you as a company have solved that for others.
That's really, really critical. I mean, at the end of the day, vendors got to also learn that, right? They got to understand that it's not just about me. It's about delivering content that is going to be, attract the customer. And that's another great point you brought up there, Jeff, as well. Like, because you're monitoring the results, right, of the data you're pushing out there, you kind of know what are the key triggers, right? And for a singular MSP, they may not have that data, right? So they don't know, right, what content really is attracting the eyeballs. Like, hey, big breach at some big casino. People are going to be Googling for that. So maybe we do a story around that and why that happened and so on. So that becomes part of the program. So great stuff, man. So you're really paying a lot of attention to the kind of content that you're feeding in, but also if they want to go off the reservation and do what they want to do, knock themselves out, right? They can add their own content. They can edit the content itself. They can copy paste it into whatever, Chat GPT and so on, and regurgitate a little further. I don't kind of recommend that, by the way, but you can do those things. But what is there any limitations to what they can do to improve or to add, subtract content that you're giving them? Here's a template. What else can you do?
No, there's really no limitation. You can, and I suggest that your customers really want to see a breadth of information. So I wouldn't select just one vendor's content. Right? Microsoft is great. They have multiple products, so you can select multiple channels. But at the end of the day, your solutions get rounded out by the ISVs that you might be working with as well and other vendors that you're working with. So you want to basically, while the storyline and the copy that's actually created by a vendor may not incorporate another company, you're doing that by creating a landing page the environment that a B2B buyer can go to and say, look, okay, so they work with Microsoft and Red Hat and Palo Alto Networks. So that's good because I have content from those three players, and that means that the B2B buyer is saying to themselves, well, now they know about the products I need, and they can solve that problem. So I would really, venture to say that yes, you can go into these vendor-based marketing portals and try to construct what you need to, but those, to your point, are just me. When the partner needs to have content that's about them and shows their strengths. And that means it has to be coming from multiple sources, has to come from many different vendors that can help construct their storyline of what they do best.
Well, Jeff, to be fully truthful, I don't think you cannot do it another way. I mean, right. You just cannot be a one-trick pony. You can't just go to a vendor's marketing automation and just push content out from that one vendor, unless you are that vendor, I guess, or your whole business is that vendor, right? I mean, variety is really the key. And to your point as well, I mean, a lot of vendors, they're offering ways, template-based marketing, and they say, look, you can just slap your logo on here, and throw it out to your customers. But what's the net of that? I haven't really seen any user case where it actually worked, and maybe it does to some degrees, but you're really just branding a vendor, and certainly not yourself to any significant degree. But I'm sure there will be others who disagree. But let's move that to another day.
Yep.
So the other part about marketing, of course, is your call to actions, right? You send stuff out, it's great, but how do you draw people back into your world to say, hey, I'm interested in something, or can I book a call, or what's my next step? How do you plug in the call to actions within your system?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So the call to action happens in multiple ways, right? Step one, as I mentioned, we're doing these kind of directories of partners, meaning that a B2B buyer can come in and use an AI chatbot that we've developed to ask a specific question. And those specific questions will generate an answer based on the content from multiple vendors inside of our application. And that answer will also be delivered to the partners so that they can see, hey, here's someone, Jeff Mesnik, just asked the question. Here's the question that I asked, and here's the answer I got. Then once those things are presented, the partner may be able to reach out to them and ask them further questions, or the more likely, the B2B buyer will spend some time within the partner's site. And there they will see clear notifications that say, hey, why don't you schedule a meeting with me? Learn more, because we know from statistics that 1.8%, there's a 1.8 times increase in value of a buyer's purchase when they actually talk to a salesperson. So we need to drive them to actually have that conversation. So everything that we do is first introduce the concepts, get the partner discovered, and then when the buyer is inside the partner's experience, their landing pages, their website, it's to direct them to a meeting request or schedule a chat with them specifically. And then once that happens, the buyer has done their 85% of their research, and they're probably more likely and ready to make a purchase. And if they're talking to a good salesperson, that purchase will be of higher value and create better results for the buyer themselves.
And the key thing you mentioned there as well, Jeff, is that's where the landing pages come in, right? You just can't send out an email blindly, right? It's got to go back somewhere, right?
Exactly.
And I want to say that you're only as good as your landing page, So if you've got a good landing page, great. If it's designed to convert, a lead into a more qualified lead, right? That makes sense. And there are lots of tricks, right? I mean, you can book a demo, speak to a rep, get a white paper. I mean, knock yourself out. There's many ways to make that landing page resonate, right? And if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can put live chat in there. These days, you can plug in live video calls as well. Book a call right now with me in a Zoom call. So there is no shortage, right, of ways, buyers can connect with the sellers. The key is to make sure that whatever you're doing in that landing page, is structured in a way that actually facilitates that relationship, right?
Yeah.
Just tell me a little bit about how you help them with those generating those landing pages.
So our system automatically generates landing pages for everybody, automatically.
Right.
Those landing pages become available for every campaign that you do. Those landing pages become available inside of this partner directory that can be easily discovered, as I mentioned. Those landing pages are designed in such a way to be simple to produce the content so that the buyer can find the content, consume the content, share the content. And then they're also designed in such a simple way that clicking to do the work that you said, have a video call, do a free trial of the software. Maybe it's a cybersecurity company and they are doing a free analysis for you. All those pieces get easily integrated into the system and create a opportunity for the partner to call, reach, connect with the customer.
If channel partners remember just one thing, is understand that this is the heavy lifting, right? There's two heavy lifting components of marketing. One is getting the right content, of course. And the second heavy lift, is the actual converting it into something, right? Now,
Yep.
Of course, there's a third heavy lift. Make sure your salespeople are up to speed. So when they receive a lead, they don't, sound shocked and they're able to, close a deal, right? But
Yep.
generally, this is important, that it's not just a marketing automation platform. It's generating their own, landing pages, which drives your call to actions. And without this component, you have no marketing, literally. I mean, it's just a one-way sort of marketing. Anything else? Well, let's talk about video, by the way. So your content that you push out, is it only text-based and pic-based, or you can also push out video content?
Yeah, no, it's, whether it's a video or an infographic or a PowerPoint, it can be any type of asset that you have. And that could be easily connected and pushed out. It can be gated, so people have to fill out a form first. It can be a recorded webinar. Highly recommend those. Those seem to do very well. So there's really no limit to the type of content that would be in the platform. It's, oftentimes it's what the vendor chooses and what they have. But if you're a partner and you've done your own webinar, you've recorded it, you should definitely add that into your own cadence of communication, and it'll appear on your landing page, and you'll have added value that other partners won't have.
No doubt. Talk a bit about the social networking connection integration. So most MSPs, they've got maybe a Facebook thing, LinkedIn thing, whatever. How do you bring all that stuff, and can you bring all that stuff into the platform so the content's also pushed out there?
Yeah, so the automated posting happens through all the different social sites. And the copy is already created for you. It's automatically personalized from you. As I mentioned, if you do want to do extra work, you can write your own edits, or you can just click the AI auto generate button, which I know you said you shouldn't do, but for some of that short message.
If you have a choice between not doing it and doing it, use the auto AI generation, right? But I get it.
Fair enough. So, and then what's actually really cool is the reactions are also brought back to you on a Sunday, meaning the people who've liked, commented, or did some kind of reaction to all your content socially, those are people that you shouldn't just let sit out there. They're actually starting their own buyer's journey. And it's time for you to reach out and get involved, because if you write something or publish something, and someone gave you a light bulb, one of those light bulb ideas, right? Great idea, LinkedIn. That means that they're engaged, and you should engage back with them. If they comment on the post, absolutely, you got to make sure you're ready to comment back. That's why we actually find that about 45% of our users, so we have over 10,000 current users, and over 45% of them tend to have a sales role. And the reason they have a sales role is because they find that if they're using our system, they'll hit their quota and exceed their quota on a regular basis, because they're able to easily have those conversations online where they weren't before.
It's my next question, actually, I just wanted to, is there something else that that maybe your platform does now that I'm not aware of, or that you know, or you think that they should know about as well, beyond what we just talked about?
Yeah, I mean, I think some key things that our platform does is it automates email distribution as well. So you can schedule a content stream to be emailed to your customer base if you have that. But I think the most important thing, and I kind of hinted at this during our conversation, is that what's really brand new is the fact that we've launched these partner directories and we've added the AI chat search to that. So that means that now, as an organization, we're going to drive B2B buyers to a destination. It's going to be a partner on type of destination. And those buyers will be instructed to ask a question. And whatever question they ask will bring up the partners that are most relevant for them. This has never been done before. This is kind of fresh grass, so to speak. And it's an opportunity for the partners to really, who get engaged with their content, to get that added value that has never been there before. So the B2B buyer is not just going to start their journey on Google. The B2B buyer will start their journey on this directory and will be taking the journey together. That's why I kind of say the idea of they basically have a partner in their sidecar. And that partner will be able to go with them through the journey and help direct them, help navigate them, where they should go, who they should talk to, how they should complete their journey to making a purchase decision.
So you're sort of opening it up for the end customer to drive some demand as well, right? Some inquiries. And
exactly.
So if I'm an MSP and I'm in the platform, and let's say I'm creating my own original content, then I have a bit of an advantage, right? Because maybe my content gets picked up from the end customer from their inquiries, and that drives more end users to me. So it's more, it increases participation. How do you get what's your plan to get the end customers there? Is it just SEO with Google? And what's your plan there?
It's going to be a combination of SEO, press announcements, advertising within different publications. Even though TechTarget just got purchased by someone, you know, they're actually a great destination for us to help kind of drive that traffic. So we're going to really ratchet up that traffic. And also, we have lots of other communications that are going out to our systems. I mean, we hit hundreds of millions of impressions every month, and those are consumer impressions. So driving those consumers back to a destination where they can learn and discover more is really an easy lift for our company right now, because when you think about what our assets are, we have over 40 content streams from different vendors and thought leaders. So we have the content. We have over 10,000 users who are MSPs and partners. So we have the opportunity for the buyers to find them. And then we have them already doing the marketing to all these organizations that need to find and discover this information. So connecting all those dots becomes just part of the pie, part of the puzzle.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it just drives a little more demand for these MSPs, because they got to be doing some marketing. That's step one. And if you're not doing marketing, then I'm not quite sure what you are doing. But one of the problems that a lot of, or challenges that a lot of MSPs have, is that, man, I don't want to upload my database to your thing. All right, I want to use my own, email platform and whatever. And you also offer them a choice, right?
Correct. So they basically can just, everything that we have is, agnostic to either using our systems or your own. So let's say you do want to spend the money on Constant Contact. Go ahead, spend the money on Constant Contact. We have an easy API. All the content will go out that way. It will go out via Outlook. It'll go out via HubSpot and Drupal. So the systems are incredibly flexible to basically work in the way that you're most comfortable as a partner working.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's the key, right? They just want to know that their data is protected, right? And it gets complicated now with compliance and regulation issues, and we can go down that rabbit hole. But in general, once they want to protect their family jewels, right? That's the first thing. And the second thing is, once they build that trust, then they could start to just streamlining things a little bit more. But the cool thing is, if they've already got their database set up in an email platform and they're happy with this, right? They don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? They can do these things, and it's just a matter of figuring out how to fill the gaps, right? So kind of summarize all this stuff here, Jeff, you know, every MSP has to do some kind of marketing. From our perspective, we see marketing being more ad hoc. Worst, we see vendors, you know, waving some dollars to an MSP saying, hey, I got some money. Can we do a promotion or a campaign? And they do a one of, and that's it for 2023. And then that's it for 2024. And we all know, you know, one ofs and marketing today doesn't really, you know, it doesn't really work. So it's a waste of money, in a way, a waste of resources. So what MSPs should do is corral this this funding, all right? Get MFT funds from everybody, all right? And demonstrate how they're doing consistent marketing for everybody, including, you know, every vendor that pays them more money. You know, maybe you give the ones that's paying you some more money, some better real estate within your marketing, campaigns, right? But in general, you know, there's funding available out there for them to do more. And what I'm getting at is that while you can automate all the content in the world, right, and leverage AI to the hilt, right, there is something for authenticity. There is something for making your own personal brand on it, putting your face in a video as opposed to like a robot or someone else, right? So don't just do third-party marketing only. Personalize as much as you can. And I do believe if you've got the fundamentals like your platform to do the repetitive day in, day out marketing communications to their customers, and you sprinkle in, right, your personalization into it, honestly, that's what I would do if I was an MSP, because to recreate what you have built, don't go there. You know, it's just not worth it. All right. So you use a platform like Jeff, get things going. And that's, by the way, that's why we selected you, right? We had many options, and we looked at our community, particularly in the cybersecurity world, in the cybersecurity fence ecosystem, which seems to be dominating the news more than anything else these days in the world of cyber. And that is, you need to be on point all the time with your customers. They need to feel that you are a cybersecurity leader, not just a reactor. Like, you know, if you, in this world, if you wait until you get hit, it's a lot more expensive after the breach than, you know, preventative. So you want to be showing customers why, what, how you do what you do to prevent the attacks, right? And whenever there's a breach that is sort of popular in the news, leverage that to explain why that happened, how it happened, how if they were working with you, that won't happen, you know, with you type thing. But do that because it's going to drive interest. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong here, Jeff, but the data is showing that a lot of the CEOs and, you know, business leaders, cybersecurity, digital transformation, AI is sort of 1, 2, 3. I don't know which one is number one, but they're 1, 2, 3 at the top of the list. So anything that you bake around these topics, right, is going to find their way into the cycle, the journeys of these buyers. It might sound complex. Oh my goodness, how do I plug myself into these 28 steps of the the buyer's journey? And the answer is, it's not that complex. Get out there, inject yourself, insert yourself into the conversation, react, share, get proactive. And the more proactive you are, the better the marketing is. And what Jeff's tool, I'm talking a bit long here, Jeff, but what your tool brings to the party is the fundamentals, right? Is to know that when you do something, it will get done. Like you said, every Sunday, you get a report of, you know, what happened. I mean, that's, you know, consistent, right? And I believe every Friday or so, you get the list of all the content that's coming out. Do you still do that, or is it just automated now?
No. So every Monday, there's an email that goes out that says, here's the content for the week.
Right.
Every Friday, there's an email that says new content coming down the path. And every Sunday, without fail, there's an email that says, here are the leads we've generated. So we're creating a behavior, and we're delivering a promise that nobody else has done before, which is that this cadence will not be broken. It'll always happen to you. And therefore, you'll always be reminded it's time to do your marketing.
I just love it, man. And I tell you, it's like a marketing automation with a with a robot,
Yeah.
before it was invented. But you don't have to pay for that marketing resource is also really critical. Right. So summarizing this thing here, there's only a couple of things that the MSPs should be concerned about. And that is they should actually do a little bit of a review of themselves, right? So they can understand their skill set, what they're able to do. Don't overpromise. Don't overdo anything. All right. Particularly in cybersecurity, make sure you understand your skill set. Make sure you're able to match it, align it with your vendors, so you know what you can and can't do. All right. And then delivering, and if you can deliver beyond expectations, you win. If you deliver below expectations, you lose.
Right.
So try to balance it out, and as you get better, then you get better. So there you go, man. So for the world out there, the MSPs that is struggling with how do I do cybersecurity right, the cybersecurity defense ecosystem is going to help you find that place for you, right? That you could find everything you need, all the products, the solutions, and the companies, and you'll also find Jeff and his team to kind of help you with marketing. I'll leave you with the last word, Jeff. What else do you want these members to know about how you can help them with their marketing?
Well, I just want them to sign up, come to the ContentMX.com site, sign up, become a member of the cybersecurity defense ecosystem. And at the end of the day, once you start your own journey of marketing and you set that programming up, then the results will be delivered. And that's the key, because you've got to, it's kind of like that old adage, right? You got to be in it to win it.
Yeah.
If you're not publishing, then you're missing it out, right? So that's really the key of what we want to talk. Make sure you're doing, and being part of our platform and being part of that discovery journey. That's the beginning.
Absolutely. And as a bonus, we're throwing our hat in as well. We're going to be starting to generate a lot of content as well. So we're going to become the 41st content provider in your system. And we got a lot of content. So if you want a fire hose of content, we're coming. So a lot of things are happening. Sign up, get involved, spin up your instance, start playing with it, get used to it, and maybe this can actually become a way for you to move forward and grow your business, because you've got to tell people what you do. That's all marketing is all about, right?
That's right.
Jeff, we'll leave the links so they can register and so on. I'll leave it there. Thanks. Cheers.
Okay, thanks. Bye.